This is gonna be a hot take. I may or may not even post this video, I don't know, but I have to say it. If you don't want to risk buying sick birds and bringing them onto your farm and infecting the rest of your flock, then don't buy birds, period. Hatching eggs and stick with day-old chicks if you absolutely have to go with something live. Don't buy birds from other breeders. Definitely don't buy birds from farm swaps. Don't buy birds from feed stores. Don't buy birds then. Buy hatching eggs. And that's not to say that there is zero risk with hatching eggs, but there is much more of a minimal risk with hatching eggs than there is with live birds. And day-old chicks is like the most minimum of risk. But with any birds that have been exposed to somebody else's farm, somebody else's soil, any birds that have been transported like in any capacity, whether that be via USPS or a feed store, all of those birds have the potential to have been exposed to any number of pathogens. With hatching eggs, however, even diseases that do transmit vertically, that means from the hen down through the egg, they wouldn't even necessarily pass down in every single egg. There is the potential, I suppose, that pathogens could pass via like the exterior of the egg if people are sending dirty eggs. But listen, sometimes that just happens if hens are laying in the dirt or it's been raining a lot. In any case, you can theoretically wash eggs before you incubate them. That would even further minimize your risk with hatching eggs. And there are a lot of layers to this. And I have to believe that most breeders would not knowingly sell sick birds. I have to believe that when most breeders in any scenario, in any place, do sell sick birds, maybe they just didn't realize what was going on. Sometimes just the stress of a move going from one farm to another, being introduced to new flocks, going through the USPS, being in a box for hours, being shipped, sometimes those stressors can cause the immune system to get a little wonky and things to come up that weren't previously even recognized wherever those birds lived before. Sometimes just the introduction of like new birds to a flock can introduce new pathogens from different soil and different places, and things come up. There is just a lot. There's a lot of layers and a lot of things that can happen. I could talk about quarantining and the things that you could do to minimize the spread of transmission of diseases and biosecurity issues. But the bottom line is this: if you don't want to bring sick birds onto your farm that might infect the rest of your flock, then don't buy them, period, from anybody. Because as far as I'm concerned, once I choose to purchase an older bird, I don't care who it's from. And I have brought in older birds onto my farm. And I was thinking about it today, like, what is it about those breeders that helped me to feel comfortable with? One, I quarantined the birds when they got here. Two, I looked the birds over entirely before I even took them out of my vehicle and brought them on my farm. Three, each of these breeders, and this must be a thing, each of these breeders has that kind of old school exhibitionist poultry show mentality, and those breeders, in my experience, tend to breed their flocks for immunities over time. I have found that that is a tremendous different mindset and a tremendous difference in the hardiness of birds long term from people who breed with that kind of a mentality. Anyways, I'm gonna get off my soapbox now. This is my PSA.